Hello.
Hi, everyone.
Jordan's already at work.
I know. I was getting into it. Waiting for the stream to turn on. Hi, everyone.
Paint liquor. Or should we say Inigo Montoya? Killed my father.
You killed my
Prepare
father.
to die. I love that movie.
Oh, man.
Papa Chicken, Sarcastic Grandpa.
Flapjack
Blue
Nickelsack.
Sauce. Hot Tomato.
Bobzilla? The
Bob.
big Bobzilla himself?
Sugar Rush, General Ginkgo.
Panic Bomb?
Hold the stream. I need to finish this
Source?
Monument Hobbies video about how to transparent first.
Hey!
I mean, they'll still be here.
I'm very excited that
The
that
video
video...
will still be around even after the stream.
It's true. It's true. This, turns out, is only live, like, right now for the next 2 hours. That video will be on YouTube for a long time.
That's very interesting. Discord notification is a different bot.
Huh?
Normally, I get the Discord notification that the stream is starting from the
Hmm.
Monu bot.
Uh-huh.
Today it came from MEE6. Something different.
Gabe, what have you done?
Gabe?
As always, we must
I mean,
get
it's the
blame
same.
Gabe.
It's the exact same message.
It's funny because we blame Gabe,
It
but
looked
Gabe is
different.
never the
I know.
problem.
Gabe doesn't have anything to do with it.
Gabe is never the problem. In fact, Gabe is always the guy who fixes the
Yeah.
problems that are not his
Yeah.
fault.
That's accurate. Oh, Gran, hello. Watched it already, and we'll watch again to bump the views. Oh,
That's awesome.
Jordan loved your latest transparent paint video. 2 questions. 1,
Cool.
do you have any magic ratios that I should remember? 2, how does one fill any color gaps? Glaze and wash medium?
Well, before I answer the first question, what do you mean by color gaps? I'm not sure what you're referring to there. You can help me out, Papa Chicken. I will help you out by answering both questions.
Gravity Magician, congratulations.
Hoo,
Have fun with those.
It's awesome.
How many did you get? All of them? You've blocked MEE6 because there's so much spam from it in many sources. A teal or any other? Well, teal is a little green and a little blue and a little white probably.
Yeah. So the
They
transparent
mix
set
amazingly.
is designed in such a way so that you can mix whatever color that you want. So if you want like a teal or a lighter teal, right, depending on how light or dark you want it to be, all it is blue, green, and white, which the transparent set gives you all of those things. Same thing as if I wanted to make like a hot pink, right?
Yep.
You use the red transparent, and then you use white transparent,
Yep.
and now you have a hot pink. Now you just don't add a ton of the white transparent
Right.
because you want it to be really hot pink. But you can mix them all together and then use them for whatever, any of the things that we talked about in the video.
Oh, there you go. It took 6 minutes for someone to question the stream title, Jordan.
No, you cannot eat paint. Tasty Thursday is in fact a reference to how tasty our lunch was today.
You can use other colors. Wait, so don't use other Pro colors and add glaze and wash medium. Instead, mix the transparents. I mean, you can do both, but if you start mixing in the regular opaque colors, you're going to not have the same transparency.
Correct. Yeah. So exactly what Jen said. So if you are looking for the transparent effects, mixing other Pro Acrylic colors into them will change how they perform, because you're mixing an opaque pigment with a transparent pigment, and the effects and the results that you're going to get will be slightly different. That's not to say that you can't use them for the same types of things. All I'm going to say here is that you will just get a different result.
So for an example of what you're asking, before we had hot pink or any of those really bright pink colors, I wanted hot pink, so I took our magenta and I put a little transparent red in it. Made it transparent. It made it hot pink. It was not transparent though.
Right.
But you can for sure use them
So
to create different colors
for example,
with any other Procro color.
if I wanted to make that teal that we were talking about,
I want to get better at hair, skin, leather, and scales. How dare you make these? Sorry, not sorry. We hope you enjoy them.
okay, I'm just gonna fix this really quick. Hold, please.
Learned a while back that Ben Cantor only paints with black, white, and transparent colors. Dude is wild. Well, I mean, Rogue Hobbies did the whole video about using just hers in black and white.
Yep.
You can make it go a long way. The question, Source said, I think the question is, what's the difference between a transparent paint versus a regular paint with lots of glaze medium? Is that the question?
I'll show you.
I don't know if that's the question.
I mean, if that is a question that you have, Source, that is a question I can answer very easily.
Yeah, because Papa Chicken's question was, do you have any magic ratios, and how does one fill any color gaps?
Yes.
Just glaze and wash medium.
I
think I get
no, Papa Chicken, it is not.
Oh yeah, no.
You would not, and I will show you why that is the case.
But
by
you don't, yeah.
doing a quick demonstration.
And you don't need to do that because the other way works. You can mix all of the transparents
Correct.
together to get a million different colors.
Do I have something nice and flat to throw this on? Do I have any of the little hard things? Boop, 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 boop. Here, we'll just use the back of this. Okay, so if I take a little bit of green. I was using this to demonstrate the difference between Nova Orange and Orange.
No need to apologize, Papa Chicken. It's all text is. It sometimes takes a minute to get there.
Yeah, no worries at all.
We wanted to make sure we understood you so that we answered the question properly.
Yeah, I'd hate to answer the wrong question because I was not reading the question correctly. I'll do a couple of different things on here so you can see. A lighter color is also a good example for this. We'll use a little bit of golden brown. Alright, so while we let these dry, I'm going to take out some of our transparent colors and I will show you guys why they are different than some of our other colors. So we're going to take golden yellow and our transparent yellow is going to be a good example. And then I'll take bold pyro red and our transparent red. To show you the difference.
So we weren't well, I came in, Jordan said I already got the stream title today because that's one of my biggest life challenges is coming up with a title every
I was
day.
like, I got you covered.
And so he came in and he said, yep, it's gonna be We're Back for a Tasty Thursday. And I said, oh Jordan, that's gonna be so confusing.
And I was like, they deserve
He
it.
said that's the point.
It's silly and it's goofy. But today was a Tasty Thursday. Just not for paint.
We all had a good lunch.
So we've got our opaque paints sitting here on the palette next to our transparent paints.
Should we be seeing them on the palette? Because we can't.
Yeah, I'm gonna move it over here in just a second. Yeah, I'm just getting them on there.
Paint Liquor said, I remember buying the transparent paints by accident. Best mistake I've ever made. It's great when it works out like that.
Hey, I'm happy that that's working out for you. All right, so we got a little bit of glaze and wash medium over here. We're gonna take a little bit of that, and we're gonna take some full power red, a little bit more of this, a lot more of that, and we're gonna thin it down a bunch. Add a little bit of water to it as well, because we want it to be really translucent. A little much, so we'll put a little bit more over here. Good. All right. So, we're I take the card, and I'm just going to do some swipes of this. With varying levels of opacity over the top.
Ordinary mixologist.
I mean, all right. I'm gonna let that dry. I'm gonna do the same thing with transparent red. Even though the color is a little bit different, you'll notice here once we put it on the palette that it does also have a difference in how it lays on top of that color as well. So we're gonna start. Oops, I got a whole bunch of paint on my hand. Ugh. Okay. And we'll zoom in so you guys can see a little bit better. Super duper transparent on the last one. Okay, so one of the things that we're going to notice. Oops, wrong way. Oh god, that was the right way. Oh god. So one of the things that you're going to notice with this side over here is there's a little bit, it's very similar, but you'll notice that this coverage here is a little bit more opaque, and it tends to not have as clean of like if you look at like a window that's a little dirty that hasn't been cleaned super well, it's got like a little bit of fuzziness to it. Versus a window that's crystal clear that you've just cleaned right away is super duper clear. So the transparent paints over here are super duper clear, where these paints over here have a little bit of frostiness to them that, while being very subtle, is still apparent. It's a lot more apparent as well when you have a thicker mix of them. So if you have a little bit more of the red in your mix, we go over orange, right? Versus a slightly heavier mix of the transparent red. As these dry, you'll start to see more of the opaque pigment in the red side than the transparent red side. Yeah, like these particular ones show it a lot better. Like these have a similar level of opacity here. These are actually a little bit lighter than this one is, but you'll notice that these appear about just as dark as one another. Whereas when you have the lighter one, it's a little bit of coverage, but you can still see all of the little texture underneath through these. But you can create very similar effects.
What about just to see, because like you don't need to use the glaze and wash medium with the transparents.
No, you do not.
So what if you showed?
Yeah,
because
so
I
if
think
I
the
don't-
question was, if I just put enough glaze and wash medium in a regular opaque color, will it work the same as the transparents? So maybe.
Well, that's what I did.
Well, yeah, but you put the glaze and wash medium in the transparents. If you
Oh,
just used them
got it.
straight, they're
Yeah.
still going to be transparent.
Correct. Yeah.
Without
So
having to add the extra.
if I just take the transparent and add water,
Right.
that's what I'm gonna do right here.
Yeah, see, it's still, without adding the glaze and wash medium, it's still transparent.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if you took the red, obviously you need the glaze and wash medium, but it still is not going to give you the same amount of okay. Papa Chicken, does that help?
So here's like a 2-to-1 water to paint ratio as well for Bold Power Red.
Okay, good. Yeah, that helped.
And then the same ratio for transparent red.
Cool.
So, yep.
Thanks, Jordan.
Uh-huh.
Awkwardish Panda, hello.
And you know what? Now, I'm going to use some
Lumberjack
transparent
Tim.
on this model because I can.
Sea Fresh, hello.
Take a little bit of orange transparent, a little bit of the yellow transparent. We're going to smooth out some of these highlights here. Add a bunch of saturation back as well.
Howdy, Captain Howdy.
So with this, I'm just using it to bring a bunch of extra saturation back, smooth out some of those blends that I was doing before. And I mixed the yellow into this because I didn't want it to be as dark orange.
Out of all the Jordans and Jens on the Monument Hobby stream at this exact moment, you two are the best. Thank you.
But well, thank you. We've also got a Jason. Here.
Out of all the Jordans and Jens.
There are not many people like us on this planet.
I feel like we get a lot of those backhanded compliments around here.
We do.
Yeah.
You know?
We do.
If I had to deal with a Jordan and a Jen on the Monument Hobby stream, I would choose you guys.
Thanks. I appreciate that you like me better than my doppelganger, Evil Jordan.
That doesn't exist. It's just you.
Giordano.
It's true. Yeah, Giordano LaFontaine.
Giordano LaFontaine.
That guy can't be trusted.
That guy, he can't be trusted.
That Fuse guy, he must live there, practically.
Yeah, pretty much. It feels like it.
What?
What's up, Wad? Hello, everybody.
We got a great little transparent tutorial video out today. Very exciting. People are very excited to watch it.
Check out the YouTubes.
Check it out on the YouTubes.
Source is a 0.3 needle decent for priming? Sure. Sure. I used to use a 0.5 in an old Badger Patriot just as a beater brush, but I did that so that I could be lazier with it. So, you know, if you have a lower price, you know, like cheaper expendable brush, the way to get it to, you know, kind of maintain is to give it a lot of volume of air through it and be able to push a lot of paint through it so that, you know, when you're cleaning it, you can maybe not be as exacting. I don't know. That sounds horrible to say. You need to take care of your tools no matter what, but I just put a 0.5 in it. So every time I picked it up and put primer in it, I could blow primer through it. But if you're keeping your machine clean, then a 0.3 works fine.
Hmm. How you doing today, Jason?
It's been a rough day, but
Yeah.
good. Right this minute.
Excellent.
Cheapo one for priming, yeah. Always a good idea.
One of those things you have when you pick up that first like Harbor Freight one. Just retire that one to be the
Yeah, like Masters airbrush or something like that. Something that's still
Still
built
works.
somewhat correctly, but isn't built for maintaining forever.
Yeah.
But it'll get you through.
Game
Nothing wrong with
delay.
that.
Is your job typing stuff in our chat? Because it seems like that's what you're doing right now.
What's that?
Game delay said, taking a quick break from painting plaid in order to
Oh,
do
to
my
do
day
the day job.
I said, is this your day job? Being here in chat? I don't. At least I don't think so. Unless you're someone who also works in this building. Are you someone who works in this building?
That would be so weird.
Are you, Jordan?
I'm not typing right now. What have
We've
I
met
done?
we've
I
met Game
kissed
Delay.
you.
He does not work here.
Huh?
We've met Game Delay and he does not work
okay.
here.
I have not met him. I have to trust their word.
I get around the office enough to know that he is not one of our workers.
This is new.
Oh yeah. The
It got
weird.
it got slowly bright. Now it's really bright.
Yeah,
Is it
it's
gonna
like
go back?
pulsating. But now it's not. Oh, there it is.
Now it's fading again.
That's early.
Yeah. This light is so weird.
Flapjack's like, I'm taking a break from my day job to paint plaid.
There you go.
You guys offset each other. You're like the yin and the yang, the matter and the antimatter.
D-Fresh said, what do you think of some transparent brown and red to help give some true metallic copper a little more pop?
Some true metallic copper, a little bit more pop. I use transparency to shade my metallics all the time.
Yes.
Your plaid is already painted, Hair Bomb. Look at you.
You guys are so fast sometimes. Like we just posted that stuff.
Overachievers. I love it.
It's because they like to do like 3 or 4 submissions a month. Silly people.
Hey, look, have you been sick for a week? Building
No.
KDM gamblers' chest models and dreading my existence. I'm sorry, that stinks. At least you're not so sick that you can't also build your models. If I said my plaid was already painted, it'd be because I dropped my brush on a kilt or something.
I mean, being sick sucks.
It does.
It is not a cool experience.
Not at all.
Funny, I remember at the beginning of COVID, I had a lot of people who I was working with. They'd be like, "Man, it'd be cool if I got it just so I could be out of work for like 10 days." And I'm like, "You're crazy. That sounds
I
awful."
think so.
Being sick for a long time sounds like
Hey,
not
Kurt,
what I
that
would
sounds
want.
exactly like Jason's situation. Cold that turned into a sinus.
Yeah, my
infection.
cold turned into a sinus infection. Not full-blown infection. I think I cut it off before it was a big problem, but I had to switch from cold medicine to Sudafed, and when I did, it made my life a lot better.
What's the difference between Sudafed and cold medicine?
What's that?
What's the? I'm not sure what the difference is between those two.
Just treating the right symptoms.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
like more congestion, less. I mean,
Yeah,
'cause
the
he did start out,
decongestant versus
Oh.
all
started
the...
out with like a
hotness and
sore
pain.
throat
Got
and body aches and stuff, and then it switched over.
That makes sense.
So he was for maybe a day taking something.
That just
that-
like
that
wasn't
the
doing
right,
the
yeah.
symptoms. Yeah.
Been sleeping a lot the last couple of days, which is incredibly odd. So you're probably dying. I mean, let's be real. We all are.
One day
Every day.
in the future.
Every day. You're getting closer. Oh, you had to go to urgent care?
Ugh.
I mean, probably a lot of people who felt as bad as Jason would have also gone to urgent care. He and I are stubborn about stuff
That's
like
fair.
that. I couldn't tell you the last time I went to a doctor.
Yeah, I said it before. If Jason is not here because he's sick, it means he's really sick.
Typically,
something got
yes.
him good.
But
Yeah.
we're both the.
It takes a lot to knock the wind out of my sails.
Mm-hmm.
We're both the. We'll just stay home and rest. You know, like if it's that bad, we'll just stay home and rest.
Yeah,
That's what
I
the
mean-
doctor's going to tell you to do anyway.
Yeah,
Stay home
exactly.
and rest. Took you 5 days to go. That's a long time.
Using a little bit of orange transparent plus a little bit of red transparent. A little bit more of a reddish hue to the shadows on the orange here. Where do I want a little bit more opaque coverage for this orange? So I'm mixing some here using golden yellow and a little bit of orange transparent. And then I'm going to knock it back down with the mix that I was just using. Just going to go back and forth a little bit with this until I get the right kind of smooth orange that I'm looking for.
No,
Oh,
don't eat the paint.
yeah. Whoever thought that it was a good idea to eat the paint, anyways? Guys, we don't make food.
It was that one guy.
That one guy?
Yeah.
Which one guy's that?
You know, the one.
The one?
Yeah, that guy.
Remember Gabe? Gabe didn't eat the paint. Who's the one guy? Are we talking about paint liquor?
We're talking about not eating the paint.
Yes, don't
It's a
eat
very
the paint.
important distinction.
Turns out it's a thing you shouldn't do.
Did pain liquor just tell us he was in urgent care? I don't think his medical advice is sound. That's a good point. Papa Chicken, none of our paints have any nutritional value. Please don't eat the paint.
Have what?
Papa Chicken said, since transparent paints are less opaque, does that mean they are less nutrient dense as well? And I said, none of our paints have any nutritional value.
Mm-hmm.
There are no nutrients in any of them.
Yep. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise.
Don't eat the paint. I trust doctors about as much as I trust people that drive in convertibles with the top down and the windows up. Those are some suspicious people.
The top's down and the windows up?
Yeah,
I saw somebody like that today
I've seen
What the
those,
heck
for
is
sure.
on the way to
Who's
work.
doing that? Weirdos?
You did get one of the new stickers, your last order, the one with the cross circle over the paint. Well, exactly. Don't eat the paint.
Yeah, you even have a sticker for it.
We have 2. Eating paint will either give you superpowers or super poopers. Definitely the second one. I don't know if it will.
I
just
can
won't
tell
taste
you
good.
pretty confidently it won't give you superpowers.
Will not give you superpowers for sure. You don't understand the convertible thing, Treebeard? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's a weird thing.
It is a little
Convertible
strange.
down.
But you do have the sticker. Or
Bring
you
the
don't
windows up.
understand the donate the paint. Tishmid found a cool piece of Tyranid art that has him thinking about Golden Demon. Awesome.
Very
Not sure
cool.
if it's a great concept for a competition piece, though.
Well, I would worry less about Golden Demon being the competition and more of it as just being a cool excuse to show off cool stuff that you've painted.
It gives
That's
you
what
the
I do.
superpower to poop colors. Maybe? I don't know. I don't recommend trying it out. Windows up keeps it less windy on the freeway. If you have a convertible, you need to deal with the wind.
Yep.
Mazda spent a ton of time researching the aerodynamics for the original Miata to make sure it wouldn't flip a person's long hair around at highway speeds. That's what you want in a convertible. I want my hair to blow in the wind. One of the reasons to have a convertible.
Sounds like you shouldn't buy a Mazda Miata.
I had a convertible Ford Mustang. I loved that car.
I've never owned-
Mustang?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never put the windows up if the top was down.
Was it a 5.0?
No,
Top
no.
down so your hair could blow?
No,
Jeez.
just a regular one.
I mean, were you even trying?
I mean, that's like one of my favorite songs.
I mean,
too.
Robbie literally came out and told you the rules.
I know.
He gave you the expectations. Robbie Van Winkle.
You guys have
They've
the
had
best
no wind
references.
problems. That too. Less wind, just as much noise. Yeah, Ice Ice Baby is one of my all-time favorite songs.
Is it on the playlist?
Of course.
Of course
It's,
it is.
Jason's like,
it's,
yes, Jordan.
It's my go-to karaoke song as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Jason, what would be your go-to karaoke song? Not that you would ever do it.
Mr. Brightside by The Killer.
Ooh.
Ooh. Not what I would have expected,
Me either.
but a song that I can appreciate.
Yeah.
I have done it live more times than I can count.
Lumberjack Tim, yours is Ice Ice Baby too, or yours is Mr. Brightside? Ooh, you guys all saying same. Which one? Mr. Brightside? My other go-to, because, you know, you gotta sing twice, is Copacabana.
Coco. Oh.
Nice, Tim. I like it.
I don't think I've sung a karaoke song ever.
Ever? So the only time I've gotten, I've gotten 2, right? But one truly standing, bar-filled standing ovation, people buying me drinks. All right? And like, who can guess? Jen doesn't get a guess because she knows this
I know
story.
it, yeah.
You got to guess what I was singing karaoke, that I had a full bar Friday or Saturday night in Dallas at a place called Double Wide, which is literally, as it sounds, a double wide trailer and a big outdoor fire pit area for drinking. Their biggest thing is like PBR.
I don't think this is right, but I think this is a pretty decent guess. Benny and the Jets.
No,
Okay.
Nope, no Journey
Taylor-
songs.
Taylor Swift.
no,
Never mind. Friends in Low Places.
No Taylor
Friends in
Swift.
Low Places.
no Taylor Swift, no Friends in Low Places.
Oh, it's. I wish Paint Liquor. I wish, but no.
I wonder if somebody will get it.
I don't think they'll get it. There's so many songs. I think you have to narrow it down a little bit. I think you have to
Maybe.
give a genre.
Old Southern rock.
Yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't even know. Well, maybe I would. Depends on how iconic.
Might surprise you, especially if you've met me. I don't do karaoke. Not Freebird, but kind of in the same realm. Not just. Oh, there you go.
Yep.
Papa Chicken.
There you go, Papa Chicken.
Papa Chicken got it.
Simple
Is that
Man.
it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Simple
dang.
Man.
Simple Man. So Simple Man, if you know, the real song is like 8 minutes long. Okay?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Okay.
And so my buddy went up and asked me while we were drinking at this place filled with people, and karaoke was going on, but it had so many people you couldn't even really tell what was going on with karaoke, right?
Okay.
It was like, it was packed.
Yeah.
Inside and out, big deal. There, lots of friends. And he goes, I'm putting your name in the hat for karaoke. What are you going to sing? And I'm like, tell him Simple Man. That way I never have to do it. And so they went up and did it.
Like 8 minutes.
They said, our next guest is Jason, who wants to do Leonard Skinnerd. And he gets up there and he goes, all right, I'm going to set the bar. He goes, because this guy that did the deal would like air guitar and be your bandmate for everybody that was up there doing it. And like depending on what the song was, they had people that were up there doing like probably Vanilla Ice, and he was being the hype man and the dancer in the back. He was full of personality. This guy.
That's amazing.
He was the best karaoke leader I'd ever seen, and most of it was like Southern rock. There was some rap. There was some like some old school punk, and then some like pop punk anthems, and it was that kind of crowd, right? Lots of flannels, lots of tattoos. I get up there and do Simple Man, right? I have a glass of whiskey in my hand, and I'm already like 2.5 sheets, right? And the song kicks in, and I never have to look at the monitor for this song, right? And so I just kick in and start, and the whole place shut up. And I keep going, and you could see him in the back because he didn't know what to do, so he was just kind of like nodding his head. And then he picks up his, what is it called? What's the Guitar Hero. He had a Guitar Hero guitar that was like, it wasn't the one that came with the game, but it was almost like it had the big bright colored buttons on it or whatever. But he had a nice guitar strap that looked like a Jimi Hendrix guitar strap on it, whatever. And he's up there. He kicks over the couch because he climbs up on the back of the couch doing the guitar solo and rides the couch as he knocks it over. He rides it down to where its back's on the ground and just keeps on playing the guitar solo. A girl brings me another glass of whiskey because I spilled my whiskey. Brings me another glass of whiskey. I keep singing it, right? We get to he lets it go the whole time.
Oh my gosh.
And everybody in the crowd is screaming encore, we want to do it again. And I'm like, I am not singing again, dude. I am not. I was getting that. I think I need to puke. It was hilarious.
That sounds amazing.
That was hilarious.
I like some of these guesses are good though. Like there's songs that I think you should sing, like Freebird, Down on the Corner, Desperado. Except, you know what? I don't think that slow songs should be allowed at karaoke.
What's that?
I don't think slow songs like Desperado should be allowed at karaoke. I think it really brings it down.
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah. I guess.
Well, that's why Simple
true.
Man is not a real big hype song.
Well,
right?
but it's a powerful song.
It's a big, powerful
Yeah.
song. Yeah.
So I think that makes it a little different.
Yeah.
But
It's a big, powerful song. So, and here I was, got myself into this position where I had the most fun I'd ever had at karaoke, other than one other time where I did Mr. Brightsides in Annapolis when I was going there because Games Workshop wanted me to move to Baltimore to take over the VP position over there when they were closing down all the shops.
Sure.
And so I went out there, and part of the deal, we were out with a couple of the bigwigs at GW, and it wound up karaoke, and I wound up seeing Mr. Brightsides was one of the guys from GW, and we just had this timing going on, and the whole place was lighters up and the whole night and all that. It was pretty funny. We screwed it up at the end, so it wasn't as brilliant as the Simple Man one, but it was still a lot of fun. But I hate karaoke. Like, I literally hate karaoke. You could not drag me to karaoke right now.
oh my gosh.
You couldn't. This was back in my drinking days.
Yeah. That's what I was
So
saying. If I were to do it, I'd have to be pretty far under.
It took the fuel gauge getting to a particular level.
Yes.
And the right song either coming on or being told to me.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, we got this. Now that doesn't happen anymore.
I would be exactly the same way. I would have to be a few drinks in, and I would have to be in the right place. In the
Friends
right
in Low
environment.
Places is a karaoke song.
It's a karaoke
It's the way it
song
is.
for sure.
Yeah. The Eagles don't get enough credit for their quality of music anymore. Sure they do. What are you talking about?
Tim's like, I do it sober.
Yeah, I do it sober.
It's like Dallas. Dallas will do karaoke any time of the day.
Oh, I think I knew this about him. I
Yeah.
feel like I've
He
heard this about him.
loves karaoke.
I
I
think
found
we
a place
talked about
that-
when we were in San Diego.
I found a place that because for a lot, I'm old. right? So karaoke for me started before, like you had to ask the DJ what they had, and they
Oh,
would give
yeah.
you the songbook.
Yeah.
Now they can do anything because it's all
Yeah,
on
that's true.
Wi-Fi,
Oh, yeah.
and it
Yeah.
literally the world is your oyster. You pick a song, they got
Yeah.
it, right? But at that point in time where that was starting to be available, there was a guy who had the Spinal Tap, and he had big bottoms, and so we did Big Bottoms from Spinal Tap. If you've never seen Spinal Tap, have you seen Spinal Tap?
No.
It's the parody heavy metal. Like,
I know. This one.
Oh, it's a
goes to 11.
parody?
it's a parody movie
Oh,
of
I
a
didn't
band
realize
called Spinal Tap and their journey as a D-rated touring rock band.
Oh, that's
right.
funny.
Not heavy metal, but metal.
Sure.
It's like a mock documentary.
It's a mockumentary.
Mockumentary.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like
Got
a
it.
mockumentary.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one goes
This
to
one
11.
Goes to 11.
Like he had all his amps went to
I
11.
do know that.
He goes,
because
but
that
does it
was
actually
one
get
of the
louder?
scenes-
No, well, it goes to 11.
But it goes to 11.
That I know scenes from a million different movies because of a bar I used to go to in college.
Oh my
That's one of
God!
the
They
scenes.
had a
That's
song
so
called
funny.
Stonehenge, and their whole deal when they went out on stage was that the expectation was like this big, massive Stonehenge would come down. They had all these props and pyrotechnics and whatever. And when they played the song, because they were so low budget, that what they spent got them this little styrofoam Stonehenge thing
Oh,
came down on
no.
wires, swinging around, and when it landed on the stage, these two little people came out, Lilliputian style, like kicking. They were dressed up like Irish, like leprechauns, and they
Oh
danced
my
around the
God.
Stonehenge. And of course, the song was like Stonehenge. It was talking about the druids sacrificing people at Stonehenge, and then there's these two leprechauns dancing around. It's amazing. It is literally one of the best movies ever made. Yeah, Stonehenge is hilarious.
Oh, Granny, your cousin did an amazing rendition of "I Believe in a Thing Called Love" by The Darkness. That would be a very hard song to sing. He had
Oh
the
my
whole
God!
place
I believe
on
in a thing called love.
their- whole place on their feet and ended up walking across tables, helped up by people on the bar. That's amazing. If I were to karaoke now, I'd ask for "From the Indies to the Andes" in his undies. Chuck and Jade, hello.
Yeah, if
Hello,
you've never
Chuck.
seen
Hello.
if you've
What
never
are
seen
your-
Spinal Tap, I don't care what kind of music you're into, what kind of person you are, go watch it. Watch it now. Do not pass go. It's amazing.
It sounds like a good time, regardless.
It's
of
a
what
great
the
movie.
Well, it's
to listen
along
to.
the same. It's the same kind of movie as one of my favorite movies.
It's a
Best
Rob
in
Reiner
Show.
flick, right?
It's Christopher
Guest?
Guest.
Yes, the guy that was Lenny and Squiggy. Lenny.
Well, that's Michael McKean, but
Michael
yes,
McKean was
he
in
was
it.
in it.
Oh, Christopher Guest is the guy that did
Christopher
it.
Guest is
Yeah,
the
yeah,
guy
yeah,
who's
yeah.
married to Jamie Lee Curtis, I believe, and Best in Show is one of the greatest movies.
Said
of all
Jen, we
time.
can't hear you.
Oh, sorry, I'm
Ruh-roh.
just far away. I'm talking kind of loud today, though.
You're just far from the mic.
I guess I was a little too far away. Again, long legs, short desk. Sometimes I have to back up. Sorry.
Oh yeah, lick my love pump. And whether a part of
What a-
it when they were doing it like acapella
what
or
a
something
name.
like that. Oh, it's so hilarious. So hilarious.
This is a piece called "Lick My Love Pump." Ugh.
It was like that era of all the 70s kind of rock, Motorhead, Judas Priest, all that kind of stuff in the early 80s,
Yeah.
that kind of it was that era. Big
okay.
like stadium rock,
Yeah,
that kind of
yeah.
stuff. It was like that. But they were like I said, they were like D-list.
Ew. Ew. Wasn't money.
It wasn't money. It was because they wrote on the plans instead of it was 10 inches instead of
Oh, they wrote
Well,
inches
they wrote
instead of
inches
feet. That's
instead of
right.
feet. Okay.
That's right.
Oh, they put one too many apostrophes.
Yeah.
Well, instead of the inches,
Yeah.
they put inches instead of the
Correct,
single
'cause
for
they-
hash.
they
Yeah.
put- yeah.
Gotcha.
How funny. Oh, it's so funny.
Got like a little 10-inch Stonehenge instead of a little 10-foot one. That's awesome.
That was hilarious.
Every drummer
That's
dies
hilarious.
from horrible freak
Yeah,
accidents.
every drummer dies. Like one of them spontaneously combusted.
What did they go through like multiple drummers during the movie? Oh
Yes.
God.
Oh, it's so good.
Okay.
And of course, there's the standard, like the wife or girlfriend who everybody hates, who tries to destroy the band, like the Yoko Ono
Oh,
kind of thing.
my
It
God.
was hilarious. It had every rock music trope in it that you've ever heard.
Okay.
Every band having a problem with it was in there.
I have to watch this movie. This sounds hilarious.
It's hilarious. Yeah, it was absolutely hilarious.
I don't even really like comedy movies, but this just sounds like a good time.
Yeah, I'm not a big silly movie fan either, and it's not like Airplane silly, but it carries that vibe. Right. It
right.
still is silly enough to really be fun. but not like slapstick.
Guffman was the first of the Christopher Guest films, like Best in Show, had never experienced film like that. Did they pioneer that kind of film? Maybe kind of like a mockumentary. But and then it also carried over to, I mean, stuff like The Office, you know, where it's that same type of feel. I love it.
I don't think I've ever watched The Office.
You've never watched what?
The Office.
What?
Yeah. I know. I deserve
It's very
horrible
accessible, Jordan. You should definitely watch it.
things.
It's streaming everywhere. Like,
it's very accessible.
Yes, you can find it very easy
Jordan,
to watch.
Get out. Oh, man.
Can't get past the first season. So here's the thing about The Office. Michael Scott can be absolutely infuriating as a character in the show. And sometimes it gets a little annoying.
Which one's Michael Scott?
He's the boss.
The lead guy.
Steve Carell.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Skip season 1, start with season 2, you'll love it. Tried to watch it, can't do cringe humor. Have to work hard to not watch The Office. I've mostly succeeded.
Mostly succeeded. That's funny.
Didn't need to watch The Office. You live it every day. There are just some really, really good characters. Yeah, if I have to skip a season, it's not worth watching.
Well, like Dwight is hilarious.
Yeah.
But it's a show that it hits my frustration button because of Michael's.
He's very
the boss.
Yeah, it's like,
he's
how
too
can you be that dumb?
His
He's
character
too
or the
much of a
portrayal?
character that
His-
is just
the
over the
character
top.
is just-
Yeah, he's
it's
just too
too much.
stupid to be in that position. And so my suspension of disbelief quits on me on The Office
Yeah,
sometimes.
your boss radar is like,
It has some great stuff, though.
There's some.
It has enough points where you're like, I've worked with that person.
The characters are just so, yeah, they're just really good characters. Good writing.
There's
the
like the older
fire-
lady
yes,
who's
the
always
fire-
talking about sexual exploits that's really awkward and uncomfortable.
The woman who's Meredith, and then Creed, the guy who's just like always kind of lurking and creepy, and yeah, it's great. It's based in PA.
Yeah, all the
Strange.
personalities are fantastic. But it's
Strange.
actually a British show.
Yes, the original one is with Ricky Gervais. I have never watched that one.
Did Ricky Gervais create it?
Yes.
He's one of the creators of it?
Yes.
Okay.
are they connected in any way, or is it just like a
No,
somebody
it was
ripped
They
it
just
off?
licensed it and did it
Yeah.
over here.
Oh, they licensed it. Oh,
The
interesting.
original is even more uncomfortable humor.
I mean, it's British. They got some funky humor over there.
From what I have understood, Ricky Gervais was not even really consulted.
On the U.S. one,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't recall.
It was part of his
credit him at
roasting
all.
Hollywood
I feel
thing.
like it does say based on the series The Office on the opening credits of the US version, I think. He guest starred on it? Oh, he was in an episode, okay. The Office is not one that I have like a rotation of sitcoms that I watch like at night, and The Office is not one of them. It's not in the
Doesn't make the
Mm-mm.
list.
no. If it were like I had the TV on or something and it was on and there was nothing else on, I might put it on, but
Mm. It definitely doesn't
it's
make
not
the
one that
priority
I'm
list.
going to rewatch from beginning to end like
Yeah.
other shows. I'm currently watching How I Met Your Mother. Freebird has never worked in an office, so I assume he watched as a kind of anthropological research. Source loves it. Just finished the third time. I've seen the whole series from beginning to end probably twice. People keep telling me I have to watch The Office, and I know for a fact that's not true.
You know for a fact that's not. You do you. You don't have to do what those silly people tell you.
Those of you who don't like The Office, how do you feel about Parks and Recreation?
Haven't watched that either.
I think they're a little similar, but I like Parks and Rec better.
I think it kind of went back to the whole thing about me not really liking humorous
Sitcoms, yeah.
sitcom type stuff.
Jason.
Yeah.
It's okay.
But Ted Lasso's great. It's very different.
Parks and
really.
Rec's on Peacock. Not a fan? Oh my god. Now that's one that I will watch over and over. I love that show.
What's that?
Parks and Rec.
Oh, Parks and Rec. It's pretty funny.
It's great.
That's the one that had.
It's the same kind of thing. It's just a more wholesome version of all that.
And it's
I think. But there's still characters on it I can't stand.
There are some that are just a little bit too much, but not as bad as Michael Scott. Nope, on both. All right. Parts of it haven't aged super well.
Parks and Rec was one of those where I was really bummed out to find out that what's his name is not like that at all in real life.
That in real life.
which guy is this?
Ron Swanson.
Oh, yeah.
He's great.
You watch Parks and Rec and you're like, I want him to be that way. He is not anything like that.
Gabe, I thought we were friends. We are not. If you can't stand Friends, we're not friends.
Oh.
Gabe loves The Office, Parks and Rec, and New Girl, but I cannot stand Friends. I haven't watched New Girl.
Them's be fighting words, Gabe.
I've seen every episode of Friends a dozen times or more, probably. Parks and Rec didn't really hit its stride until season 3. The first few episodes were like, it's fine.
Of what? Parks and Rec?
Parks and Rec. But I thought I loved it. Okay, in your opinion, it's terrible. Hate it that way, and that's fine. Never seen Friends. It's amazing some of the things that people are able to avoid in life.
I've not seen it either.
Because Friends is still on like all the time. You were a Scrubs fan. Scrubs was really good, yeah. I haven't watched that one in a long time.
I don't know how I managed to watch a little bit of Scrubs but not watch any of these others.
Yeah.
That I just don't get.
Friends, Office, and TV. Source. I need the words. Can't figure it out. Oh, The Big Bang Theory. Thank you. I have not watched that one.
Big Bang Theory I've never watched.
Never watched.
I've really only seen Friends vicariously through other people.
Yeah.
It's one of those shows like Seinfeld that every time I watch an episode, I'm like, I've seen this one. How could I have possibly seen this? I haven't seen enough of these episodes, but maybe I really have. I just never consciously sat and watched it.
Yeah.
But there's been enough of it happening in the background in my life that I'm like, oh, I recognize this. This one was really funny.
Therefore, it's Never Sunny in Philadelphia. I thought that was actually really funny. Loved Friends when it was sit and watch every Thursday. None of these shows have aged well. That's the thing. We can't judge them based on now. I recently watched Will and Grace again, and that was probably worse than any of the other ones as far as aging. Really surprising.
Is it newer than any of the others?
No. Always Sunny in Philadelphia is exactly what it's like living in Philly.
I've watched some of that show. I'm concerned about Philadelphia, if that's the case.
It's Always Sunny.
Yeah. If that's
Danny
what
DeVito.
Philadelphia is really like. I'm concerned.
Really, Fletch? I'm watching it right now, and I'm not seeing any issues beyond, like any others.
Well, if you talk about like social interactions and things, you can't treat the past that way.
No, that's what I said. I'm like, we can't judge past shows
By
by
today's
today's
social
standards. Yeah.
Yeah, by the imposed
nothing you can
standards
do.
of
Like, you
today.
can't-
That's ridiculous.
Can't go back and change it. It happened. Things were different.
That's like saying All in the Family is horrible. Yeah, I can see it losing its appeal.
Sure.
We aren't in the same place. I don't find the same things funny today that I did back then. In every instance, I go back and watch some movies and I'm like, why did I like this? We talk about that a lot. Stuff I'm like excited. Oh my gosh, this just came out again. I gotta see it. And then you watch it, you're like, I liked this? That was a different me.
I can still appreciate the old shows. Came to said in my community, any show was bad that included people having sex that weren't married. I have no clue what I would think about these shows now, but I missed Friends, The Simpsons, and Seinfeld. Barrendon, hello. What are your favorite metallics?
Out of our line?
Mm.
All of them. With a particular slant towards the bronzes. And magnesium.
I
Dark
love the
bronze.
cooking shows, Panda.
Did you used to
Cooking, the
watch
baking.
a lot of the cooking channel? I
You
used
did?
to watch a ton of that stuff back in the day.
You did?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Growing up, the only sitcoms watched in your house, Jade, were Nick at Night. So classics.
The classics.
Just
Like-
rewatched Beetlejuice with the kiddo, Papa Chicken. Very different than I remembered from being a kid. Was surprised by the one F-bomb in there. I did not.
There's a new one out, right?
Mm-hmm. Relax Studios, a great new transparent video, guys. Just saw the upload. Baby J sounds professional.
Well,
He put
That's
on his
kind of
video narrative voice.
Yes. That's my teaching voice.
That's what?
That's my teaching voice. Not to be confused with my ha ha, I'm an idiot voice. those are two different me's.
Food Network, HGTV, love them. Oh, Mork and Mindy. Mork and Mindy was one of my probably my favorite show from when I was a kid. Pain liquor sounds professional.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. You thought we were getting somewhere, guys.
He liked Bewitched and I Dream of Jeannie. Mom didn't like it that involved magic and Jeannie's stomach was showing. It was pretty controversial
What's that?
that Jeannie had a bare midriff.
Yeah. Yep.
Mork and Mindy does not hold up. I mean, it's about an alien, so I'm not sure it needs to. It got weird when they had the baby that was an old man.
Yeah, the baby.
Yeah.
He had the baby, right?
Yeah.
Like an egg.
Well, it was the
he had to
egg.
sit on his egg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Murph.
What is this show?
Mork and Mindy? You know, it's
Robin
Robin
Williams?
Williams. Oh my God.
Robin Williams was an alien who wore rainbow suspenders and very high khakis,
Uh-huh.
and he was just like Bright Eyes Big City, was sent to Earth to report back,
Yeah.
and knew nothing. It's like
Oh.
if they sent like the most know nothing, bright eyed bushy tailed person to war.
Yeah, Nanu.
Jeez.
So it was
Okay.
hilarious. His
Nanu,
dealings
Nanu.
with humans. It was a great at the time kind of a way to show the way humans interacted through the eyes of an alien
Yeah.
who didn't understand any of it.
Yeah, it was great. And at the end of every episode, he would call home, like he'd go into his pod,
Yeah.
and calling Orson, and he would give a report on what he learned.
And it was
What they
that
did.
was the moral to the story part.
Yeah.
It was a very old moral to, because like Orson would be this big voice from the
Yeah.
heavens, and he would be
Never
like, "Why do you tolerate these things?" And he'd like, "Well, what I find is that it's still loving," and
Yeah,
so
Interesting.
it's hilarious.
it was a great.
It was good comedy, and
and
I feel like it was very wholesome at the time.
Yeah.
There were a lot of shows that were kind of like that. So
yeah, Jonathan Winters.
yeah,
was the
Jonathan
baby.
Winters
He's
was the
great.
baby. He's like full grown.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
Mummy. The Munsters were not the same era as Mork and Mindy. Food Network when it wasn't all competition shows, though in a lot of ways YouTube and streaming has supplanted the need for cooking shows. Exactly.
I did like watching MasterChef.
MASH?
MasterChef.
The Gordon Ramsay.
Wait. Oh,
Did you say
maybe.
Master Chef?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Gordon Ramsay.
Is that one? Oh, which?
Top Chef?
Nope. It was.
Iron Chef?
Thank you, Iron Chef. It's
Iron
like
Chef was fun.
something
I
chef.
loved the Iron Chef, yes.
Yeah, Iron Chef was great.
Iron Chef is great.
That show was a blast.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one where Gordon Ramsay yells at people.
Yeah.
Less into that.
I heard MASH at the beginning, and then
No, I have never watched a
and then I
match.
remember how
I am familiar with what it is.
how
I've never
Gordon
watched.
Ramsay, when he says Master Chef, it kind of mashes it together. Master Chef.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, MASH is phenomenal.
Yeah, MASH is a great show.
I have heard it's very good.
Alton Brown was the Good Eats.
Yeah. Well, he have like quite a few different shows that he did over the
Probably,
course of
'cause
his
he
career.
also like hosted some
Yeah.
others and things.
Well, I think he hosted Iron Chef for a while, didn't he?
Alton Brown. Oh yeah, he was the
Yeah.
he was the host.
He was like
of-
the original host.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I watched the Kitchen Nightmares episode about the restaurant here in the valley that essentially kicked Gordon out.
Wait, was there one here where they kicked Gordon out? That's great.
Whose Line Is It Anyway is a fantastic show. Yeah, he hosted Iron Chef America.
Oh my god. Whose Line Is It Anyway has had some greatness.
It's so good.
I have not yet watched the Great British Bake Off or something like
Yeah.
that is the one that people really love or
Yeah.
it was super popular for a little while. I have yet to watch that.
I've been
First restaurant
forced
to ever kick
at
him out was
gunpoint to watch
Pasadena
that by
Bakery.
Jen.
And what's your 2 cents after having been forced to watch it at gunpoint?
Which one?
Great British Bake Off.
Oh. No, we watched like the spring baking challenge and the Halloween baking challenge and the Christmas baking challenge. Very same concept, but it's American. It's like Food Network.
Mm. Did it hold up, Jason?
Huh?
Did it hold up?
I'm not a big fan.
Yeah.
I like seeing what people create when on those shows where they're actually allowed to create stuff.
Yeah.
Some of it's a lot of fun to watch. Some of it I'm not interested in at all, but it's still kind of cool, you know? Like there's all of those. There's a whole genre of those shows, as we know.
Yep.
There's like the fashion ones,
Yeah.
you know,
Project
and
Runway.
I'll sit down and watch them with her every now and then just to kind of get a feel for what is going on. And sometimes there's some really neat stuff. It's like, oh wow, that's just cool to look at.
Yeah.
But in the other ones, it just becomes such a producer's nightmare where they're just trying to drive drama for ratings and that kind of stuff. So I
The
get tired of
cooking
that real
ones
quick.
generally don't have the baking challenge ones don't usually have drama.
No, it's not about that.
And the fashion ones don't really either. I love the fashion ones because it's like they're
I
so
think the fashion ones
creative.
do, where they all have to live together. There's like infighting. It feels a lot like Big
It's
Brother a
No,
lot
because
of the
they
time.
don't show really their life outside of the. I mean, they'll go like at the end of the day, they'll have them all in the apartment like chatting, but it's not. They don't really fight on that one. Not on Project Runway. Watch the Great American Baking Show. Lost your minds because your in-laws' neighbor's daughter, who you've known since she was in high school, was on it. That's crazy.
Be so crazy to have that happen. Just have somebody who I know just like show up on TV.
Yeah.
Just like, what are you doing there? You start rooting for him.
I worked with a teacher whose cousin was on a season of The Bachelor back in like the early 2000s. And then one of my friends knows someone who was on the who actually won the last season of Survivor.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
The last season of what?
Survivor.
Oh, wow.
What a crazy, weird experience that
Yeah.
would be. Just being on one of those shows.
Yeah.
Sounds so weird to me. Because they got to make it interesting so people watch it. But it's also like, it's about trying to find somebody, which is so weird that those two things would go together.
You talking about The Bachelor?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about Survivor.
Oh, no. Survivor is just Survivor. It's been a long time since I watched Survivor.
Starts next week.
Starts next week.
You can catch up. There's a new one that's starting.
You don't have to watch any of the past seasons to know what's going to happen this season.
That is true. Although I imagine the show's changed a lot since I've last watched
No.
it.
It really hasn't.
No.
They don't make them do.
Been a while.
There's no
as much
eating
of the
challenges.
crazy eating
They don't gotta
stuff.
eat bugs.
Every once in a
I
while.
used to watch when they were doing the
Yeah,
eating
every once in a while
challenges.
they'll bring back a food related thing, but for the most part they don't do any food stuff anymore.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the last one that I watched and vividly remember was Africa. It was the first time they went to Africa. I don't know if they've gone back.
Yeah.
But I remember like they did a weird one where they had to like make like huts or like their little like area.
Mm-hmm.
Just like they were like tasked with like making a fancy structure, and somebody like totally made like a really nice like place to live, and it was just like, oh wow, that's
There's some people who are pretty resourceful.
yeah. It was cool. I remember like
And then
seeing
there are others who go on and they seem like they've never seen the show before and they are fully unprepared and
Yeah.
they cry and like I can't do
they
it.
cry. They're like,
Like,
"Ah."
do you not know what you were getting into? How do you not know this?
I know.
Show's been around for 80 million years.
It's true.
Our Game Delay said, I met my wife on Survivor Bachelor. You have to marry the person who eats the grossest food. Reality TV is great.
Oh gosh. Survivor Bachelor. Oh my god. Can you imagine?
Route said I'd watch a mini painting competition show. That would actually be good.
There's somebody that was filming one or wanting to film one.
Wait, really?
That was like you know, the old tattoo ones where
Yeah.
you get a bunch of mini painting artists
Yes.
together in a spot and
I think that'd be really cool.
make them. I mean, it's just not. It doesn't have any kind of momentum in a production environment. I don't think to get any money behind it. It'd be very indie, but it would still be cool.
Tim and Flapjack are saying that they talked about that on Trapped Under Plastic.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Taking dark camo green that I showed you and the Payne's gray, what you've been watching me do as we're talking nonsense about old TV shows, is adding a bunch of shadow.
Gavin Devine, are you okay?
Into the model.
I don't understand your messages.
So I'm using Payne's gray as my main mixer, and I've been mixing it in on the front with the dark green brown for all of the stuff on him, and then on the back with dark camo green. And just water, no medium or anything here. Just very, very wet. Thinned out with the water.
Did we watch some show about people getting ready for like a tabletop game tournament?
For what?
For like a tabletop gaming tournament?
It was a show that didn't paint miniature painting in a very good light.
Oh.
Well,
Because it was about PTSD, kind of like Army veteran in the UK who tried to have a terrain making company, and
we watched this.
Yeah.
On like Prime or something, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was miniature wargaming might have been called the movie.
Yeah.
And it was it was an unfortunate way to display the thing. His story was very poignant. But to have labeled that as a miniature wargaming movie, I think was unfortunate.
Yeah.
Because that was a very personal journey for one man and how miniature wargaming played a part in his life. Right? But it wasn't miniature wargaming. It wasn't like we're all a bunch of sad sacks.
Yeah. Oh, granted, it would be cooler to see a mini commission show like the old tattoo shows where they come in and tell you what they want, and then we get to watch the artist paint steps. That would be cool. Like a Miami Ink kind of thing. Also a show I liked.
But then you got to have all the shop drama to go along with it.
Orange County Miniatures.
Yeah.
Oh God. Oh God.
Monument Hobbies could sponsor a mockumentary painting competition. Minnie Agnon, John, Sam Lenz, Vince, Eric, Marco Frisoni, Flamon, all the Spaniards. Paint to the death. Louise Rogue Hobbies is the only survivor. Instead of Miami Ink, call it Phoenix Acrylics.
Oh God.
We're a little too busy for that. We would have to hire more people
Jason, how do you think about
to be the commission
producing a
painters for the
television
TV
show
show.
at the same time as all this stuff?
As running a business?
Yeah.
Yeah.
People have lost your mind.
Christopher can handle it.
Yeah. Hey,
Christopher.
we're doing this thing. Just wanted to let you know.
Yeah, right, T. Schmidt.
Man's busy enough.
Chris and I have a TV production team on speed dial. Gabe sounds like he's ready. You've made a matte varnish. How hard can a TV show be? We've made a whole line of paint. Easy. Nothing allowed to distract you from the spray cans.
Oh, so I picked up Space Marine 2.
Oh, okay. I was not expecting that to happen. But carry on.
Yeah, jury's still out.
Okay.
It's very clunky.
The controls are wonky.
The controls are horrible.
I've rebound a good chunk of the controls.
So yeah, it takes a lot of, but it's very chunky. It's very Black Myth Wukong. Those games are just reskins of one another, in my opinion. Very linear, which I knew going in, so I can't fault it for that. I knew that.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting anything different because that's what the first Space Marine was.
Yep.
But yeah, the controls and the fighting is so slow and heavy. It drives me bananas.
Oh, I think it's bad. I like the slow clunkiness of it. Makes the armor feel like...
Oh, but they're not slow. They're lightning fast, Space Marines. They're not slow. It makes them feel like the armor weighs 1,000,000 tons because you've got all these Tyranids jumping on you. And, yeah, they're fast, but you can't attack fast enough. You can smash that button as much as you want, but your swings are really slow. Everything feels very fatigued.
Cephalopod. Hello.
It's just, it's a little much for me.
You just start playing the campaign? I assume?
Huh?
You just started doing the campaign, I assume?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Paint Lickers, I think that's about the game. Paint Lickers said, I'm sad the best armor is the prologue armor.
Yeah.
Cantankerous AP said it's very timing based on dodge and parry and really was set up for controllers for the default keybinds, I felt.
It kind of sucks that it's like, oh, here's this deal where you get killed and, sorry, spoilers, and now you're the Rubicon Primaris.
Yep. I was like, oh, okay.
Game
Sure.
Really said, Jason, the first person to say Space Marine 2 and Wukong Kong are the same game?
Same game. They both have very clunky feeling combat and are on rails. Doesn't mean they're bad. I've enjoyed both of them. They're both beautiful. I will say that this is the best kind of, I think, portrayal of the 40K world.
Yeah. Oh, it's not so good.
It feels pretty good.
Yeah.
The animations in a lot of cases are pretty lackluster. Some of the character design is not great, but it's still amazing for 40K. So yeah, I get it. I get why everybody's excited about it. I'm not trying to be a downer. I'll play through it and see. I was bummed because when I started the game, the prologue wouldn't allow me to use my controller. The keyboard controls are absolutely borked.
The prologue wouldn't let you use a controller?
No, I don't know if it didn't recognize it. I had to wait until I played through the entire prologue to be able to go in and disconnect, shut the game down, start it up again, do that again. I had to do that twice for it to recognize my controller.
That's freaking weird.
Then when I finally got it to play on the controller, I was a lot happier because it's definitely a game that needs to be played on the controller.
Yeah. I've got it tuned up okay for me on the keyboard, but
Oh, it's got too many. It's key. Yeah, it's weird.
It's wonky.
It's not right.
It's really wonky. Your son noticed in PvP that the crotch armor on the Heavy Marine is lower resolution than the rest of the armor. It's like they blurred that area.
Going back to the show, Bud said, in the short time I got to know Christopher, I believe he can do anything. And then Cephalopod said, I've been a Procurl user and enjoyer for over 3 years now. I've been in the Atlanta film industry for almost 10 years. If you ever did a TV show, I would have to consider moving to Arizona to lend a hand.
Oh, geez.
What did he say? He said, if I ever did a TV show, I would have to consider moving to Arizona and lend a hand. There you go.
All right, Jason.
I'm not doing it.
I'm not. It's not happening.
No,
Nope.
that whole world ain't for me. I'm not a self-harm practitioner, which is probably hard to believe considering we started a hobby company. No, I wouldn't want to have to shop it to producers. Not in a million years.
Yeah, it sounds pretty awful, doesn't it? Gotta get the Hollywood folks involved. Oof.
Tell everyone either you have loving parents or you work in the film industry.
What's that?
I think that can be, you can put a lot of different industries in there. I tell everyone either you have loving parents or you work in the film industry.
Either you have loving parents or you work in the film industry. Yikes.
That's like you either had a great childhood or you have a really good sense of humor.
Yep. It's like, I'm not sure how I feel about that.
After the shenanigans at work today, I'm really reconsidering moving to Arizona and working for a paint company.
Uh-oh.
Are you going to
We
leave
filled
your
that
wife?
position.
Yeah, we have since filled that position. But it sounded like a pretty hard pass for Jade.
It did. Oh no, Chuck, what happened?
Not in the Discord.
Uh-oh.
It was some part that they made improperly, and it caused, like, you could press one or you could punch one piece of metal, but then it shredded everything else or something like that. I don't know. I'm not a machine shop.
Yeah, they made
expert.
a tool, but the tool was formed so that when they put it in the press to press the tool out, it sounded like it didn't remove the cutoffs.
Oh no.
Because a press will have, well, depending on how it is, if it's making the tool and there's excess metal, then that excess metal has to go someplace, and if it doesn't, it builds up in the tool, and the next time it presses down on the tool, there's excess stuff, and all that force applied will break the tool.
Ah.
Right?
Yep.
That's what I got from what he had
okay.
said.
Yeah, and those tools are not cheap.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars, sounds like.
Yep. Yep.
I don't know what they're making. It sounded big.
Press would jam up on the Chads and Carbalamo.
Yeah, imagine if Chuck's one of those people who's like, hey, if you're looking for a machine to put paint in bottles, let us know. He's probably making some relatively large stuff over there. Blammo.
Oh, so they're big, yeah.
Lighting department here. It can get brutal. Whew. There's a reason why the industry just had a months-long strike and almost a complete work stoppage for over a year. Yikes. A lot of time to not be doing stuff. We're making vertical plier and wrench racks for the massive mechanics toolboxes. They're like 3 feet tall. He called me at work to see if my shop could fix it. Jade. Looks like I know somebody who might be able to get this fixed. Call my wife.
Call my wife.
The bottom die plate is 2 feet by 3 feet by 8 inches thick. Oh.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh.
Yeah, if you've never really thought about it, going through and do some Googling on like tool and die manufacturing
Crazy.
and look at like, you know, like a how it's made kind of a thing. And look at how big parts are made. Big gears are amazing. Like if you think about some of the big machines that run very large gearing assemblies for doing heavy industrial assembly, you look at this stuff and you're like, what? Because all that stuff has to be made someplace.
Yeah.
And the metal has to be like hardened and tempered and processed and all of that. And these facilities that they do it at. And then you watch those videos that are like on YouTube where it's like some 8 dudes in India in like what looks like somebody's backyard with like a skinny dog running around, and they're all barefoot making it happen in India too, right? Like with some broomsticks and flipping it over and lots of fire, and how many people die a year there? I don't know, but it's pretty crazy.
It's funny you mention that because I'm thinking about a video that I watched not even that long ago of some guys in India or somewhere in that general vicinity of the world repairing big, huge truck tires where they were patching and adding the stuff back on. And
Cephalopod, that's awesome. Thank you. Fantastic.
Oh,
thank you. Oh, about to place an order to complete your entire paint collection from Pro-Acryl.
You'll have more than I do.
What?
I don't have all the colors because somebody keeps stealing them.
Not my fault.
You sure?
Pretty sure. Last time I checked. Don't mind that it was a while since I checked.
A lot of Pro-Acryl collections being finished off this week. This is true.
A lot of completion.
This is true. We've had a lot of comments online. That's it, gang. We're done. Everybody has all their paints. We'll see you later.
Yeah.
Fade to black. Fade to black. Jen and I will be on a beach.
You said that? I was like, wait a second. It's only 3:30. What are you doing, Jason?
That's it. We're out.
Probably Jabe. He stood over there a few days ago.
Thanks for playing.
Nova Orange completed your collection, Tim. Heck yeah. Your last 26 bottles should be here tomorrow or Saturday.
Awesome.
Wonderful. Our fulfillment team, pretty awesome. They're getting stuff out of here quick. And our shipping's really solid too. When USPS doesn't like to ship things to the wrong place.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta give them a break. They're a new company.
Yeah.
They haven't been around too long. They're figuring it out.
You know, still getting
trying to find their footing.
Jeez.
Yeah, they do great about 84% of the time.
84% of the time.
That's true. Wizard's butt, very elusive. Yeah, gotta give some grace to those small startups like USPS and UPS.
Yeah, they're really doing the hard work for everybody.
Treebeard bought your first Pro-Acryl paints at Gen Con a couple years back, and they sat unused until you discovered the monthly challenge. What?
Oh.
I have had that conversation this week where I told somebody, I forget who it was I was talking to, but I was telling them that, you know, that happens more often than you would think, that we have people that will pick it up because they hear it's great stuff and they want to, you know, get it in their collection, and then, you know, they may not paint as often as they like and whatever else, and then we get a note a year later that says, hey, I just wanted to let you know, I love your paints. I bought them a year or two ago. I finally got around to using them, and we're always blown away. Because we're all around here, we're all like, you know, oh my God, when I buy something, I want to use it immediately. I want to check it out, see it for fun. And, but yeah, there's a lot of people that
it's crazy to me sometimes.
don't jump right on it, and that's fine.
People are, like, they hold on to it. Cephalopod has a suggestion, a rose gold metallic. Tried about a dozen different types across multiple brands and nothing has worked. What about like rich gold with like a tiny bit of
Rich gold,
dark
a little
magenta.
bit of transparent red or dark magenta.
Yeah. I think it would be beautiful.
Probably I would start with dark magenta and see.
Yeah.
Because that'll get you rose gold real quick.
Yep.
Very, very
And you
small.
could even go with bright gold and do the same thing, because rose gold is usually very
A little
pale.
lighter. Yeah.
But if you
that's
wanted
a
it
good
to be
point.
more intense and vibrant, you could use the
Yeah.
rich gold. Rich gold has a lot of that orangey yellow kind of feel to it.
Completely forgot about bright gold. Bright gold would be better, I think.
Yeah, but bright gold with it, again, with a little pinch of dark magenta, because it's basically a transparent.
Speck, 'cause it's gonna
Mix
be
those up,
different. But
get where you
yeah, I
want,
think that would be
easy.
Really pretty.
Our paints are built to be easy to mix and very specific in that they give you exactly what you expect when you mix them. Sometimes if you're like me, you're just mixing paints to see what you get. Like I'm putting together all sorts of crazy, nasty colors here with the dark green brown and Payne's gray. I haven't mixed those together before, don't know what they're going to get, but they work. But I know that when I put two colors together, it's not going to fool me or give me something I didn't expect. I may not know exactly what I want, but when I get it mixed up, I'll see those colors in there. And that's exactly how every paint works. So never be afraid to just go for it, right? Mix copper and gold. Copper's a little bit strong on the orangey red side, but you could try it.
Yeah.
You know, it
Yeah,
depends,
maybe
I guess, on what
maybe
you
the
consider to be
copper and
rose
the bright
gold. Some of
gold.
it is more pinkish, like definitely in that realm of a very pink hue.
Yeah.
And in that case, you'd want more magenta in it.
Oh yes, they're testing it. Cephalopod and Awkwardish Panda are going to test it out.
Or like this.
What do you mean? You have a paint that won't be mentioned? What are you talking about? I don't understand. We don't have any paints you can't talk about. Not a single one. I don't know what you're talking about. Meanie.
Jordan testing rose gold right now.
Super meanie.
I
And then he mocks me. It's my yob.
You say your yob?
Yob.
Yeah.
It's your yob?
That's my yob.
Your yob.
That's my yob.
Mm. Nice yob.
I thought so too. I do my job very well.
This is the J room. You can't yob anything. And then he mocks me. He can't mock you. You've got the
You have
fancy.
a bold sense of humor. There is
Yeah.
no mocking.
Yeah, you've got one of the two only.
Yeah, I was gonna say he has the one painted by me.
Indeed. I do think it's hilarious that the guy who got the one painted by me stopped by at Gen Con.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he
did?
did.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, he stopped by at Gen Con. He's like, man, I freaking love that thing.
Oh, good.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
He was
That's
the
awesome.
one who it was a late night purchase.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
funny. Yeah, no,
He works at one of our stores.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said he stopped by. He said, you know, it's crazy and I love it. We have it in a case in the front of the store, and he was just like, you know, it's crazy, but it's awesome. I was like, you know, it's funny because we were talking on stream and we're like, when I was painting, they're like, I don't know if this person's gonna like this, and I'm like, oh, it's cool.
General Keiko said it's the best decision I've ever made. We won't tell your wife and your children about that. That's the one that will the purple one, because Bud, you have the other one, right? Or do you have the purple one?
Huh?
And you need the yellow one. Bud said that's
Oh.
the one that will complete my collection.
Bud has the purple one.
The purple one?
Yeah.
So the yellow one is no more.
I think the yellow one is dead and gone. There
I
are
don't think there's any more of that one.
very few bottles of that exist.
Yeah, that one was the first one, and we only had maybe 20.
Yeah,
And we
if
gave,
that.
we gave
even.
a bunch. Yeah, maybe only 10 because we gave a bunch away at Christmas.
Oh yeah, I forgot you guys put some in the thing.
It was the
oh
big
yeah,
holiday
yeah.
stream
It was.
that we did. Some people won.
And we gave away what 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah, I think so. Tim, you saw a faded plum Lamborghini. An interesting choice.
I mean, well, it doesn't look terrible.
Great.
Faded Plum's a
Faded
pretty good
plum's
color.
a good
I would never own a car that color, but that's just me.
I mean, if someone gave it to you, you probably wouldn't turn it down.
I certainly would not. Yeah, I would definitely not turn that down. And I'd drive it, as is.
I'm sure you would.
I would
I
drive
would too.
it. Yeah. One of those things that You just can't say no to.
Yeah.
What's that?
Somebody just gave you a Lamborghini.
A free Lamborghini.
Although, to be fair, I probably could not afford to pay the insurance on it. I'd get murdered in the insurance for it.
Drive it straight to a dealership.
Yeah, I'd drive it straight to a dealership and sell it.
Difference
Here's-
between having a car that's a certain color and paying money to have a car painted that same color. Because it's a choice. Bright gold and dark magenta work perfectly.
Yep, that's what I'm doing right here.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's really, really subtle. The rose gold's one of those things that it's like, it's got that subtle pinkishness to it.
It's perfect. Nailed it.
Yep. Looks good.
Look at that. We make a paint and we know what we're doing. Sometimes.
Sometimes.
I hate making that as a blanket statement. Oh yeah, well, I definitely know what I'm doing. 100% of the time, except
Other
when I
times you're
don't.
like, not sure what to do here. Wait. JP Gray says I have a paint to sample car.
I have a paint to sample car. It only costs a few grand and
I don't know. You lost me.
yeah.
It's JP.
It's JP.
You have a
I
purple
have a
car.
purple car.
Paint to sample is actually purple. Okay.
Yeah, I mean it costs a couple $1,000s to get a car painted. It's a lot of work to paint a freaking car. So much sanding and prep work. Sounds like fun though.
Car painting?
The painting part of it, yeah.
It's not.
Jason's like, you wouldn't. Trust me. Trust me, Jordan. That's a thing you don't need to try out.
It's not. I don't know, just like anything, right? There are people who that's their calling, and when they find it, it makes so much sense, and they do it forever.
True.
I know guys who have painted cars forever.
Not that much fun, but your wife wanted a purple mini, and that's what she got. There you go.
Starting to take shape.
Starting to take shape? Jason, I feel like this model's been taking shape for a long time. You've been painting over there.
I don't know.
It looks pretty good. It looks like the same shape it started as.
This is also true.
Jason, I'm not sure the shape has changed at all. I don't know. I would make the argument that paint can change the way something looks in a way that makes you feel like it has a different shape, even though it doesn't. We like to make illusions happen here, folks.
Awkwardish Panda confirms bright gold and dark magenta as well. It's incredibly pretty in person. Yay! Now I wanna paint something and
It's
use
pretty
rose gold.
good. Pretty darn good.
Like I need to buy an extra bottle of each and make a pre-mixed bottle of rose gold. A ton of Sisters of Battle to paint.
Oh, you doing all your Sisters of Battle with rose gold? That's kind of cool.
Learn from people like Eric Swinson about shaping faces, cheekbones, using paint. People do it with makeup all the time. It is insane to watch makeup videos.
Yep.
The way they can completely transform faces is crazy.
This person does not look like they did 5 minutes
it's really
ago.
Crazy. Blades81, hello. And
Hello,
Avian,
sir.
hello.
Avian's here. Hi, Avian. How are you?
I love the little dancing emotes, Blades. Of course. I love them.
Dancing what?
Well, this little guy, wavy dance guy, and,
Oh, that's cool.
and the penguin doing like a twerking penguin is super cute.
Is that a penguin butt?
It's twerking.
That's great.
Oh.
Am I supposed to be in bad shape based on the tone of that question, Baby J?
No, you are not. You are not. That was a one of those things that it's nice to see you. Great to have you here.
Well, thanks for the bits. The bits are for Baby J's concern.
Should I be concerned? I hope not. I hope you're having a great day. Papa Chicken. Can't remember. If I'm going to noosh my entire model, should I be edge highlighting and sponge weathering first? So, you can, or you can do it after. So if you're doing edge highlighting in general, if you do the edge highlighting first, it will dull down the edge highlighting because of the way that the noosh will filter over your model. You can reduce this by adjusting the mix a little bit, being a little bit heavier on the noosh and a little bit lighter on the paint. But it will still filter over that edge highlight. If you want the edge highlights to be more prominent, you'll want to do them afterwards. Or you'll want to do them before and then touch them back up afterwards, which is probably a better way to do it. Because you're gonna get a little bit of that edge highlight from the previous step, and then you're gonna basically add another layer of brightness to that edge highlight afterwards, which generally looks really good. As far as the sponge weathering, I would do the sponge weathering first. I would not do the sponge weathering afterwards. Because the idea is the filter will help make all of that sponge weathering kind of pull together on the model and make it feel like it's a part of the model instead of something that's painted on top. And that looks really good, by the way, Jason. I'm loving that.
Thank you.
One of the things that can be very easy to have happen when you're painting a model, that, especially a model that has a lot of flat surfaces, like a tank or something else like that, or a big armored, Titan or something like that, is if you don't find a way to make that chipping or weathering feel like it's a part of the armor plate, if you paint it on top and you don't do any sort of weathering or filter over it, a lot of the time it will feel like it doesn't belong. When you filter over it, it puts a layer of kind of grime and filth and dirt over the top of that, but also the armor plate. So it feels like it's a part of a whole instead of being separately painted on top.
Avian said to answer Baby J, we had a slight weapons malfunction, but everything's perfectly all right now. We're fine. We're all fine here now. Thank you. How are you?
I hear your voice there, Han Solo. Nice try with your trickery.
Just placed my order. Awesome cephalopod. Paint collection completed. Use the Ninjon code. He's the one that introduced me to ProAcryl.
Nice.
We appreciate your support of Monument Hobbies and Ninjon.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. God said yesterday I heard about the spray can matte varnish. Will there be a matte varnish for the airbrush? Also, any timetable for the new salmon color?
Eclectic. Jason, I'm gonna leave that one to you. Tell us what we all want to hear.
On the spray paint side or on the eclectic salmon
Well,
side?
I mean, I can answer the spray paint side of it, but the eclectic salmon part, I'd love to hear about. I'm excited for that color too. I'd like to know when I can get some.
Well, not on my list of to-dos right this minute, but it is coming.
Fair. We're hoping to have the airbrush matte varnish, which is it is approved, right? It's ready to go. We're just waiting for some final
Material
to fall into place.
Yeah, material supply.
So hopefully we'll have that here within the next couple of months.
One of the raw materials was unavailable from the manufacturer for 120 days when we put our order in.
Yeah.
And we were expecting immediate. So it should have already been out, but that's not all the way it goes. So
The testing has been done. Jason's very happy with the results. Which is a good sign. We're just waiting on being able to actually make it available. But soon. Not hashtag soon, but soon. Avian, I don't know why you want fish now. Eclectic salmon is not a type of salmon I'd want to eat, maybe. Also, it's paint, so don't eat paint. What's so eclectic about the salmon anyways?
I don't know. It was called like electric salmon, and it turned into eclectic salmon at some point.
Oh, is it one of those, what was it? Alpaca lipstick
Yes.
moments? Yeah.
It was the color I made when first painting my Blood Angels
Uh-huh.
highlight.
It's got it in a bottle somewhere.
Jason does have it on his desk.
Yeah, I made a bottle of it
I made a bottle of it.
because I was...
Oh, you guys wanted some too? Oh, well.
Too bad.
Sorry.
Sorry, guys.
I mean, I have some.
He gave you the recipe.
How
Make us
much?
do all the work?
How much is this worth to you?
Dang. Whoa. Bidding war?
It's a really good color. You know, the reality though is when you go and look at the orange red, right? It's such a good highlight for orange red, and that's exactly what it was built for, was to go from pyro red to orange red to eclectic salmon. That's like the best red armor workup on the planet. It just works super well. I mean, that is my Blood Angels armor. And then pale pink for the final. So I get it. I know people want it.
Tim said, Fuse, did you ever finish those?
What's that?
Did you ever finish those?
Mm,
The Blood
yeah.
Angels?
And then I stripped them all
No.
so that I could start them over.
No. You're not me. Don't do it.
Just reprimed them all.
That's the thing that I would do.
Payne's, yeah, it was Payne's Gray into Dark Plum. And then over the Payne's Gray Dark Plum combo was the Bull Pyro Red and then the Orange Red and then eclectic salmon. That's what this workup is, right?
I can confidently tell you that Jason is not me.
So that's
Eclectic salmon's worth about $4.65 plus
Payne's
shipping.
Gray Shadow.
It's the only bottle.
the dark plum in the mid-tone
Certainly it's
there, or
worth
mid-tone shadow, and then bold pyro red straight over the top of that is very aggressive, and then the orange red, and then the eclectic salmon that I've airbrushed on here, and then somewhere there's a dude that is done, but I don't know where he is. I don't know where any of these guys are.
Eclectic salmon takes influences from a lot of places. Some wild
you got
caught,
the-
some
the-
farmed, some
the
taken
dreadnought
out
up
of the
there.
mouths of hungry bears.
Yeah,
Did that with the
that's
same.
true. He's kind of done all the way to the pale pink highlights on that. He was done super fast. I didn't spend the same kind of time on him as I did on the troopers, believe it or not.
True.
I don't know. They're someplace. Probably sitting in a
Piece of
freaking
foam
piece
somewhere.
of foam someplace. I don't know where all my models are. Oh no, he's got them. He's taking photos. There's like all the
Oh,
so
yeah,
many
he
of
did
the completed
grab-
models are down there on the table. Chris
Yes,
stole
I
them.
can see them.
Oh, it's $3.53.
Oh, did you look at that?
I painted some shadows.
It looks really good.
You would give the neighbor kids paint money for that bottle of eclectic salmon. Game Delay is like one of the, well, I'd say he's the only attorney out there rolling people for their lunch money, but it's probably not the case.
I bet there are quite a few others.
Some taken out of the mouths of hungry bears. I wouldn't mess with hungry bears. I've seen that movie. I know how it ends. Two people wound up inside the bear, turns out.
Jason, how do I avoid getting eaten by a bear?
Huh?
How do I avoid getting eaten by a bear?
Stay away
So
from bears.
watch the movie Grizzly Man and just don't do anything that guy did. That's a
Take notes.
that's a real documentary.
Oh, really?
That is no joke. This is one of those, like, Into the Wild and Grizzly Man are two of the things that you should watch, and just don't do anything those idiots ever did.
Yeah. Take notes. Don't do any of those things.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't assume living in the wild is something any city boy can do, first off.
Ooh.
And then when you go, the Grizzly Man story was that this guy who was having all sorts of problems in his personal life, wanted to go and just, do his vision quest. And his vision quest took him to, I think, Alaska, right? Was that where the Grizzlies were? Anyway, I think he went to Alaska. And were they both Alaska? Where was the Grizzly guy? Or was it Canada? Anyway, he went to wherever grizzly bears are. Pacific Northwest someplace, maybe?
They are, yeah.
And he wound up camping in an area where the grizzlies were nice because they were full all the time. The waters were up, the salmon were running, they were fed, and he would just sit there and film them and narrate them as if he were some, amazing outdoorsman or something, which he had no history in it. He wasn't like an anthropologist or anything.
He was just a
a
guy.
dude. And he went out and studied them and wrote all these things about the bears, named them and all that, and kept going back year after year, and had a girlfriend that he took out there. And in a year where the waters were down, there weren't enough salmon in the water, and the grizzlies ate them. There you go. End of story. Spoiler alert.
And the Grizzlies ate them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and it's on tape.
And it's on tape. Oh,
Yeah, him and his
my
girlfriend
God.
were killed by grizzlies. Yes, they were eaten. Because the bears were hungry, it turns out.
Bears are animals, too.
Bears are just like me. I'm very nice when I'm fed. As soon as I'm hungry, all bets are off. You could lose a digit or a whole limb.
Please don't eat my hand.
Does the movie show them getting eaten? No, they didn't have cameras on. They did have a recording going, though. So it plays the recording.
Oh, my gosh. Ugh. That's Grizzly.
Yeah, it was crazy. That guy thought he was Grizzly Adams. Yes. Any Herzog documentary is an experience, not just Grizzly Man. This is also true. What are your opinions on making paint bottle labels with blank space for the name for custom mixes? They all, well, I guess we don't have labels on the empty bottles. We assume that you would go and get like just blank labels in a label pack, you know, from whatever the
Staples.
Dino labels and stick them on there. So the empty bottles don't come with them. It's something we thought of, but it would take extra processing time. And the deal with things like that is we don't want to charge a whole lot for them because we feel like they're not money makers for us. They're just conveniences for artists. And if we have to take the time to put the labels on the bottles, that's a mechanical process that eats up our machine time where we use that for our actual paint routines. So it would become fairly expensive process, even though the labels are super cheap, fraction of a cent per label in volume. But the process time and the human touch time to put the labels on there, even using the machinery, is something where then it would nearly double the cost of the bottles in sets, and I don't want to do that. So cheaper for you to go buy some labels and write them on there. You're just a sucker for things matching. I'd love to do stuff like that. It literally around here is us thinking about, is that still valuable? And while some people might pay for it, I feel like it's not as valuable to the people that might actually need mixing bottles. So we'd rather just sell them plain. Grizzly Adams. That guy.
What about that guy?
I grew up with that show. Grizzly Adams, I feel like it was around the same time as like Kung Fu. Master of Kung... No, was it Master? I think it was just called Kung Fu. Carradine. Definitely pay money for a few stickers. Now, that's something that we might be able to do without driving the cost up, is we can include labels in the pack. Never thought about that. They just never stick as well if you don't run them through the machine. Starsky and Hutch. It was that whole era. Starsky and Hutch, man. Holy hell. I grew up as a kid watching Emergency and Adam 12 in the afternoon. Jen and I were just talking about it. I think there's literally, since the dawn of television, always been a cop and an emergency show, like a firefighter, EMT kind of thing, hospital. Are they pressure rolled on? Yes, just pressure. Y'all ever watch Hee Haw? Of course. That was one of my grandmother's favorite shows. Barney Miller, also one of my grandmother's favorite shows. MASH, also one of my grandmother's favorite shows. Yeah, Barney Miller and MASH at night. You watch Hee Haw and MASH with your grandparents all day, same thing. Sanford and Son, yep. Sanford and Son, and what was the other one? There was Sanford and Son, and there was another one that was Chico and the Man. Remember Chico and the Man? I'm not talking to you. I always look at him and ask these questions because I feel like I have a brother in arms here, and I forget he's like 12 and doesn't even watch television. So I don't watch TV anymore. But Chico and the Man. You remember Chico and the Man? Anybody? Columbo. Oh my gosh, yeah, Columbo. Or like the Night Stalker. That whole thing was like Columbo that chases vampires.
Brother in arms, but he's 12. Oh man.
Chico and the Man. Freddie Prinze. Yep. Yeah. Freddie Prinze.
Here's the thing, Jason. Who else? So here's the benefit of having the 12-year-old sidekick. Is that you can explain all the things that the 12-year-old sidekick doesn't understand, so that they get to have entertainment about me not knowing things that I should know.
Treebeard's like, I remember all these shows. Murder, She Wrote, I never watched. That was more like in my 20s or something like that, right? I think yeah, exactly, Ben. That show stopped because didn't he commit suicide? I feel like yes, maybe. Sanford and Son with Red Fox, yeah? Red Fox? Second stream that Murder, She Wrote was mentioned on was the same person that brought it up. Was Lumberjack Tim the one that brought it up in the other stream? Blame him.
Nope, in the same boat as Jordan.
So, Ginkgo, you get the same thing. Well, they'll go, remember that thing? And you're like, remember me?
Yeah, it's like,
You do know me, right? Yeah, Murder, She Wrote was not my gig. Not my gig. I remember like that time, like Starseed, yeah, like Fantasy Island, Love Boat, all that kind of crap. Greatest American Hero. It's like one of the first superhero shows. It was such a disaster. It was funny as hell. The guy had a suit that made him super. Like an alien suit that he found, and he put it on and become super. He could fly. But of course, it was funny because he was just like a dude. So he put the suit on and tried to fly, and he had no idea how to fly. So he'd crash into stuff and nearly kill himself. Yeah, it was funny. Greatest American Hero. There was a Captain America TV show back then too that had Captain America and his like I mean no special effects other than some pyrotechnics and flipping cars. It was horrible. But as a kid, his Captain America helmet, he had a motorcycle, and he'd be like a motorcycle helmet with the Captain America wings and the thing on it. If you Google it, he had like the only way they could make the shield was out of like Lexan because they couldn't stamp it correctly, so it was like clear.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, it was clear, but had the star and stuff. It was really crazy. You need to go look for it.
Oh. Sounds disturbing.
Yeah, MacGyver. Your generation had Captain Planet as your hero. He was going to take pollution down to zero. That old Captain America show was crazy, right?
Philip, you would love that old Captain America show.
Yeah, believe it or not, I'm walking on air.
Greatest American Hero.
I never thought I could be so free. Yeah, American Hero. That's what we're talking about. Greatest American Hero.
That was a good show.
Dude, it was so bad.
Best show about eco-terrorism ever was Captain Planet. There goes Jen, throwing up links again.
Yep.
What? Oh, man.
The old black and white version of Superman was awesome, dude.
Take bullets off his chest, but would duck when the gun was thrown at him.
Okay, my whole world changed yesterday where I was watching a snippet of a podcast, or it was like a stage presentation of some comedians that were talking about nerd stuff. And he was like, we gotta talk about Star Wars.
Uh-oh.
And he was like, it's like the only science fiction where lasers go through everything except other lasers, talking about lightsabers.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, the lightsaber can cut through literally everything except another lightsaber. And I was like,
yeah.
I'm usually the one that comes up with that stuff, and I'm like, no way!
Also,
for the first time ever, it was perfectly fine that they were having sword fights with light, and yet they couldn't go through one another.
That's not how that works.
It cuts through bone and cloth and walls and everything.
Everything.
Yeah, except light. That makes no sense, people. Star Wars is not real.
Star Wars is not real.
My whole life has been a lie.
Oh, gosh.
My whole life has been a lie. Thanks so much for hanging out with us, everybody. We love that you get our nerddom here.
I never thought about that either. That's
yeah, right?
weird.
Exactly right. I was like yesterday years old when I was like, my life is ruined.
Yeah.
How did I miss this? I was okay with everything until that. Damn it. Yeah, and the light somehow knows how far to travel to just the length of the sword for some reason. All right, thanks so much for hanging out with us. Remember, if you're new here, hit that follow button if you will. We stream 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time here in Phoenix, Arizona. We'd love to see you back. Go chase those links back that Jen threw up, and we'll look forward to seeing you over on the Discord. And you can check out the store, and please, the FLGS link that has our store locator. If you're looking for Monument Hobby supplies, always check your local stores. They do all the hard work and provide a great place for you to go play and meet out, hang out with friends, have fun, and be a nerd. So thank you so much. Stick around. We're going to find somebody to raid, take you off into the evening with more wonderful hobby action, and we'll look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow. For the end of the week, it's Friday.
We won't be here, though.
You guys won't be here
Jason
tomorrow.
and I will not be here tomorrow.
Oh, no. I won't be here. He will.
Hi.
I won't
He's
either.
12. Don't talk to him about any meaningful TV shows.
Okay.
We'll see you later, gang. Have a great one.
Bye.
Bye.